Hello everyone and welcome back yet again to another drum playthrough review. Thanks everyone for tuning in and stopping by. It's great to have every single one of you here. For everyone who's brand new, hello and welcome. My name is Nick. I'm a drummer, multi-instrumentalist, whatever else you want to call me on here. And we like to do these videos because it is good for us to take a look at drummers who are better than us, analyze their technique and break it down in an easy to digest form, and use that so that way we can improve ourselves and make ourselves better musicians. So today, we are revisiting a man who I have done a review on before. It got quite a few views at the time. That was a big amount of views for my channel. At least now, not necessarily as much anymore. But in my eyes, that was a video that did very well. But we're taking a look at a man, a dude, an absolute Chad on the drum kit we've reviewed before, and who I said has some of the cleanest technique in the game. And I still stand by that to this day, because still to this day when it comes to other metal drummers, I haven't necessarily seen anybody who really rivals his level of relaxation at the speed that he plays at, and at the technicality that he plays at as well. We're talking about the man, the myth, the legend, Bryce Butler from Shadow of Intent, formerly of The Faceless, and formerly of Abigail Williams. Bryce Butler is an absolute Chad. He's very relaxed whenever he plays his drum technique or anything like that. He's just an absolutely all-around cool dude. Haven't got the chance to talk to him personally just yet. Hopefully that will change soon. The man is an absolute legend on the drums. He's written some absolutely amazing and beautiful pieces on the drums that help to complement some of the most incredible choruses and verses and whatever else you want to say is part of Shadow of Intent's songwriting. Dude's an absolute beast, and his technique is something that we can definitely learn a lot from. So I was perusing around on the YouTubes the other day, and I saw that, Bryce Butler just did a drum playthrough with Meinl cymbals in their studios, much like the Austin Archie playthrough that we did a couple times. So what I figured we would do is revisit the man, the myth, the legend, Bryce Butler, and take a look and see if there's been any changes to his technique since. And here's the thing, spoiler alert, I've watched this a few times already. Yeah, there's been a lot of cool changes and a lot of really interesting new things that he's adopted in today's technique. So it's time to break down exactly what is Bryce Butler doing behind the kit and what kind of changes has he made that we can learn from to make ourselves better drummers. I think this is going to be a good playthrough for you guys to watch, so stick around for a little bit. We're going to go ahead and get right into it. All right. Without further ado, ladies and gents, let us get into the video. It's for their song Farewell. It's the opening song on their newest album, Elegy. See already right here, what do we have a change in? Double strokes. Very loose grip on the six, very loose. Look at him, and he's smiling the whole time too. This is why it's such a joy to watch this man live. And he's playing his custom trick pedals. It's a very nice playthrough too. So already we can see he's playing an absolutely massive looking snare drum. At least it looks massive to me. Very interesting technique that he's using with those ghost notes is that he's using his whole arm to do it. That means he's got very excellent dynamic control even if he's using big movements. So something I know you can probably barely see it in the video, but when he's doing those double strokes, you'll notice that his foot actually slides back a little bit on the pedal in order to do it. First of all, very excellent heel-toe technique. Very clean. And I've watched him play this song live. He's absolutely a beast on these drum kits. But just look at how he's playing too when he's playing that fast parts. He's keeping very relaxed and very loose still. And not a lot of drummers would be doing that if they're playing something that quickly. Excellent accenting on the cymbals. Very good, very good. Look at how he supports the solo as well. He's not doing anything too crazy to combat the solo. He's just playing kind of a wide open groove with some extra cymbal work just to kind of let that solo breathe a little bit, so that way it sounds more resonant and much bigger in the mix. Yeah, he's an absolutely excellent drummer, and you can already tell he's vibing out to this song. Back open with the blast beats. Look at how, too, when he's doing the blast beats, his stick isn't, like, moving around all over the place on the snare drum. It's actually keeping very, like, centric into one space. Very accurate with his hits. He's pretty much hitting the center of the drum, or at least as close to the center of the drum as possible, like, the entire time. Oh, yeah. What a sick Chad. What an absolutely sick Chad. All right, well, here we are back here. Here we are. Listen to me, I can speak English just fine. Here we are again, revisiting Bryce Butler. What an absolutely amazing and phenomenal drummer. Very loose with his technique, very, very loose and relaxed, while all the whole time, being able to keep up speed, being able to keep up that energy, keep up that vibe, and he's smiling the whole time. I mean, what more do you want from Bryce Butler? He's an absolute great dude. So let's get into his technique now, shall we? So he's using a lot of wrist technique when he's using this video. It's like a combination between wrist and fingers a little bit when he's doing the blast beats, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. You don't necessarily want to stick to just one technique when you're doing it, like, oh, I'm just going to use wrist motion when it's this speed, and then after that I'm just going to use finger motion or whatnot. You don't necessarily need to do that. If you can find a combination that's in between for you that works, as long as you're not struggling and straining when you're trying to do it, go for it. Knock yourself out. You'll notice too that there's been some changes to his technique as well, as far as like how his double strokes sound. First of all, insanely clean double strokes. I know beforehand he was talking about how he, primarily uses just like regular like ankle motion and like single leg and all that. And here's the thing. If you can play that speed single leg, dude, kudos to you, bro. You've got some mad grippers down there. You got some mad little greasy grippers. But there's no shame in using double strokes. In fact, actually, I highly encourage it. If you can use double strokes and you want to use double strokes, bro, go for it. Double strokes are sick. You'll notice too with his heel toe, he kept it very nice and clean. He wasn't doing anything super like, unconventional with his technique. He kept everything very loose and used very small motions, so that way he could minimize the amount of energy that he was wasting and all of that. He kept it very tight and organized. And something else that I did bring up in the video too, if you watch him, you'll notice too when he's playing, when he goes from just doing the regular full leg motion and whatnot, where his whole leg is going up and down, when he switches to go to double strokes, his feet slide back on the pedal a little bit, and that's so that way he can get that good rebound on the pedal board, so that way when he hits it with that one original note, when he comes back to hit it with his heel, the pedal board can still bounce up and be able to have proper rebound, so that way you can get a good, effective, and nice clean double stroke. And that's honestly the secret, and a lot of that has to do with your pedal tension and how long you've been practicing double strokes for. A majority, honestly, of the bass pedal technique that's out there, it doesn't come from an actual like straight up technique. It does, there is technique involved, don't get me wrong, but a lot of it comes down to the settings that you have on your pedal board, because different settings are going to promote different types of play styles, and therefore in turn it's going to promote different types of sounds that you're going to produce out of that particular instrument. So an example of this would be like, say for example, let's take a look at guitar. If I take my guitar over there and I hike up the bridge all the way up so that way the action on my guitar is super high, I'm not necessarily going to be able to play the cleanest at high speed. I'm going to want to lower that bridge down so it's a little bit closer to the fretboard, so it's a lower action, so that way I can play at much faster speeds cleaner. It's the same kind of deal when it comes to the pedal board on your bass drums. When you're using your bass drum beaters and you want to go fast, you need to adjust it so that way your spring tension is a little bit higher, so that way there's more bounce back with the beater, and also so that way there's more rebound going on with your pedal board. That's what's going to allow you to get those really nice clean double strokes. As long as you just keep on practicing clean technique that's not going to cause any strain or cause any muscle tension that's going to cause injury, just make make sure that when you're doing your technique and all that, that your pedal board is going to be matching the style that you're trying to play in. So if I'm trying to play double strokes, I'm going to go for a little bit higher spring tension with more rebound. Maybe play with some lighter beaters or something like that, so that way I can get the most effective use out of my technique. Whereas instead, if I'm just trying to play low and slow, I might benefit a little bit more from just doing some lower spring tension stuff, heavier beaters. All these things have to be considered whenever you're trying to venture in further into the extreme drumming genre, because you need to figure out what is my play style going to be and how can I adjust my equipment to best suit it, so that way I can have longevity. So that's just a couple things to take into consideration. And again, like I will always say, he was keeping very, very loose. Keeping loose is absolutely key, so that way you can prevent injury and also be able to achieve higher speeds, such as what he was playing in this video, which was absolutely ballin'. It was fast as crap. But yeah, once again, dude, Bryce Butler has absolutely clean technique. You can learn a whole lot from him. If you ever get the chance to see him live with Shadow of Intent, do so. Not only is it going to be an amazing show, and I say that from personal experience, being very front stage at a Shadow of Intent show and seeing absolutely amazing showmanship, but also meeting the dudes live in a VIP. It was absolutely sick. It's definitely worth the money if you're trying to go to a Shadow of Intent show. Plus, usually the tickets are only like $25. That doesn't get beat by anybody. And with all that being said, y'all, that's going to be the end of this video today. So great job, Bryce Butler. Here's just a few things now that y'all can do to support me. So for one, you can like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff down below in the video. You can also check out the playlist I have with videos very similar to this. And you can also check out the links I have below for my Spotify page and my band page as well. And with all that being said, y'all, thanks for tuning in and stopping by. It's great to have y'all here. Hopefully I'll be able to see y'all in the next review. So cheers and have a great night.